Is Druid farming finally broken in Bloons TD6? Well, we are about to find out, as Ninja Kiwi has been on a quest to basically buff these druids out of control. Well, actually, they're not exactly buffing the druids, they're buffing Oben, but that's pretty much how it goes with that farming method. So in case you guys aren't following the changes, let me walk you through and why I'm saying maybe the druids might be busted, because what Ninja Kiwi has been doing in the past couple of updates, actually starting from update 47, is they've been trying to make all of these druids meta again. So starting in update 47, the cash generation bonus given to all of the druids used to be 0 and they made it 20%, which is a great start. The thing is, 20% didn't exactly cut it as much, so in update 48 they bumped it from 20 to 35%, which was great. And then what's happening in the latest update is they're bumping it up yet again, going from 35 to 50%. So in the span of just a handful of updates, we went from 0 to plus 50% extra cash generation. That is just nuts. So whenever we're doing all these druid farming videos, because I do tend to kind of, make videos each time something happens to druids and druid farming, the conclusion that we always get to is that it's nice, but it's still a mid-game type of a farming method. It never goes into the late game. I mean, you kind of can do it, but it can never mimic, the top at farms in the tier 5s or whatever. So if you guys are noticing something, the start for druid farming and normal farming is pretty much the same. You still want to be going for these top at farms for the cash flow, and because you unlock the ability at like the tier 4, and it's a pretty expensive ability, by the way, it's like $5,000 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you still want to go for a couple of farms before going for the druid. So maybe, you know what, this is not exactly the best I guess order of purchase or the location, but trust me, it's gonna make sense in a second. So I'm gonna go for a discount village first. Let's get at least one marketplace, and we're gonna keep all these guys as 200s for now. We're gonna start buying up these druids. So let's have the first one like this. We're gonna start with 4. Yeah, this is not exactly something that you can just trade out, just buy and save up cash for it. You need a little bit of extra cash flow, and then you go into druid farming. So bam, there we go, buying the first jungle's bounty. The range is insane, by the way. And yeah, we need Oben's level 5 basically, because this is the one that grants the bonus cash generation to druids. Okay, it's not a good idea to keep the ability for this long, but I want to get to one more farm like this, and now let's use it and see how much this 50% bonus actually is. $2,000, that is a lot of money. So I think in total, like this 041 costs about 7k, and so this is gonna pay itself off in like 3.5 abilities. That's really good, actually. I mean, the farming setup is kind of weird, to be honest, and we're playing elite lich, so yeah, let's go for, it's round 37. See, I don't exactly have a gauge on how to druid farm, so I'm not sure if this is like a good idea, but I'm gonna buy one more druid before the boss appears. The thing that's saving us currently is the cash flow from the farms. So even if you're running druids, like, you still need a lot of farms. Maybe you don't need to upgrade those farms as much, but you still need those farms to get going. So let's get the elite defender for the tier 1. I guess we want to have it somewhere on the side so the buff doesn't get stolen. Have it like this. Alright, so we're taking a lot of lives. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell one of these farms. I'm gonna get the elite defender, set it on first, and then we get rid of the soul with it. Okay, so let's get this guy back on strong now. Let's rebuy the farm that we sold, and we actually need to get it started on druids. Like, we need to buy more druids. Yeah, the elite defender is doing the thing, and he's obviously gonna win, especially when the lich soul gets procced and it ticks. So hopefully it ticks now. Yeah, there we go, minus 11 lives. Boom, look at the extra attack speed. Yeah, it's just gonna destroy it. So how many druids on the field? 2 druids. Let's use the ability, buy this one. So it's gonna be druid number 3, and then we can fit one more over here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. All right, so one more tick. There we go. We're getting the money, so that's 4 druids. This is a good start. We're not gonna stop at 4, by the way. We want to buy at least a couple more, but there has to be, this limit and this sort of a balance in which you're druid farming, because if these guys cannot scale into the ultra late game and buy you paragons, then there is no point in actually investing money into them. So but we're gonna do it anyways in this video, by the way, don't get me wrong. So that was the tier 1. Let's sell the elite defender. We have 21,000. So what can we do? Let me just check the cooldowns with these guys. Okay, so let's use these abilities. It's 3 in total. And actually, you know what? Maybe we sell this farm. Maybe let's place a couple more druids now with all this cash that we have, and then we're gonna fill it up with base farms. There's a lot of space here down bottom, so we're only playing with like the base farms to start things off. But again, we're gonna be getting the marketplaces, maybe one here on the side as well. And you guys know what? We should probably wait for all these guys to come on the same cooldown. So that's 9 in total. Let's see how much money we're making now. So boom, that's about 2,000, 2.4, I think I saw some of these guys make. Yeah, so this one is 2.2, this one is 2000 flat. Yeah, all these guys are basically, this guy is 1.4. He's the weakest one, but that's because we went from the top crosspad, right? Yeah, we can up those numbers, I'm pretty sure. Let's use the water space as well. So if I can fill a farm like this, if there's enough space for an ice, which I think I saw, yeah, there we go. What if we place a farm like this and then one over here, and then we do the same thing up top? Okay, so again, all abilities ready. Let's use it. We're starting with 18,000. That's gonna be 39 that we got. I mean, that's good. That's huge, actually, because the tier 2 boss is about to appear, so you're defending it with what, like a mad? Wait, this is actually really good. Wait, hold on for a second. Let me get the Monkey City as well. You guys know what? I'm actually not even gonna spend a single dollar. Let's see if I just keep clicking these abilities, how much money we're actually gonna get up to around 60. Okay, so I think this is gonna be the last ability, so let's just see with the Monkey City exactly how much we're making per druid. That is, I think it's 3 point something. I was seeing some numbers like 3.3, 3.6 at least. Yeah, I mean, that is really good. With, you know, the problem obviously being that by the time, if you're normally farming, right, you have a Banana Central, you have a couple of BRS by this point, and so the money is being invested there. Like we have it here in our bank account, if you can say it like that. And in that case, you would have it in the farms and it would produce cash flow. Basically, that's kind of the difference. So we have 147, click the ability 176. Yeah, so that's about 30,000, it's 29. Yeah, let's round up to $30,000 if we click all of these buttons, which I think 9 druids is completely fine. Alright, so let me get the mat and then let's buff these druids even more when we're done with the tier 2 boss. I mean, what else can you do for the... I have one more tower in mind. So here's what's gonna happen. Oben is gonna reach level... What exactly? What was it? Was it level 11? No, it's level 12 actually. It's this one. Reduces the cooldowns of magic monkeys by 5%. That's not a lot, but it helps out with all the druids. And then we can actually do an Energizer sub up here, which I'm gonna buy. This is gonna be another 20%. Alright, so this is gonna improve the cash generation for sure. Let's dump the abilities again. Let's use the mad ability, by the way. Just get rid of Lich as fast as possible. I mean, this is fine, guys. I'm not exactly seeing that many issues, at least not until this point, not until, you know, the tier 2 boss so far. I don't even think this is meant to beat the top hat farms, for example, just as a comparison, right? So let's go something like this. Let's upgrade every single farm that we have up to the marketplace, and that's it. So we only want to get these guys with the cash flow. Also, I don't exactly want to be collecting bananas. I don't think, you know, 023 marketplaces are going to move the needle too much because they make like $400 per round or something like that. And it's around 66. So let's get this guy up to the Spirit of the Forest. He's going to make a little bit more money than everyone else. It's also going to help with defending, which, as you guys might have been noticing, you know, throughout the entirety of this run, we've not exactly been struggling with defending anything in this run. Like, the druids basically take care of everything by themselves, and that's just so good. It kind of takes off the burden off of you, and honestly, farming is not even that difficult. Like let's actually just do this. Okay, so we can basically automate this. I completely forgot about the tech bot, but yeah, the way that it works is you use one ability and all of them get used up. So if you hook up the tech bot to, like, oh, that's the wrong button, but if you hook up the tech bot to, let's say, this guy, the Spirit of the Forest, boom, every single one of them gets activated. And this is it. This is how you do druid farming, I guess. 9 druids. I think this is a reasonable amount that we currently have. We're around 74. The money's doing fine, like 400k. So as these rounds are going by, I'm noticing a couple of things. First things first, we have a lot of cash for this point in the game, but I still don't think that these druids are gonna scale into the ultra late game. But I would love to be proven wrong, because that would be so cool. We're gonna have our farming strategy available to us. I still think that this is some sort of a mid into maybe a little bit more into a late game type of a, you know, farming method now with this 50% extra cash generation that Oben gives them. But let's see what we can make happen versus the tier 3 boss. So let's go for the Boomer Paragon. We actually have a decent amount of cash, so I wouldn't mind, you know, buying kind of a higher degree. I think I just want to hurry it up a little bit because I wanted to see how much money we're gonna make up till the tier 2 boss, and I did not buy anything basically before this guy arrives. So buy the Glaive Dominus. I think we're gonna put all the money into this thing because I trust the druid. See what degree we get. It's gonna be a 45, so 45 is gonna be fine for the tier 3, and I'm pretty sure the tier 4 as well. And so what this means is that every single dollar that we make from these druids up until the tier 5 boss are going to get spent on the Paragon that's gonna win us the game. Now keep in mind, this is normal Lich, so there are no modifiers because we're playing this, you know, as a custom event. So usually, you know, with these Ninja Kiwi bosses, something tends to happen. It's the boss HP, it's the speed, it's tricky maps, so this might not be the ideal scenario, but if we can make it work in a game like this, then maybe, you know, maybe we can make it work in other more difficult scenarios as well. I mean, who knows? Yeah, exactly. So Trial 96, and I think I'm getting kind of a better sense of how these druids stand in the farming meta. So the cash generation, if you have a setup like this, so it doesn't matter if you have the marketplace or not, because they make the same amount of money with base farms, right? But basically a setup like this means that you get a lot of cash for the early and the mid game, which we kind of saw, and we were able to, you know, pretty comfortably buy the mat for the tier 2, or for example this guy, it's actually 345 for the tier 3. But as you're going into these higher paragons, you can kind of see the cash generation starting to fall off, or at least it's not on par with your needs for the tier 4 and tier 5 boss. So I'm not saying that this is not gonna work, it actually might, but the idea is about the same as it was as before. It's very simple actually. Druids are a stepping stone to better farms. So still, you know, the tier 5 farms and, you know, the banana essentials plus the BRFs or whatever you want to buy, that thing is still undefeated. Now, can you use druids as a substitute? Well, we are about to find out, and especially if NinjaQ wants to help out in an event with, you know, a little bit less ability cooldowns, maybe the boss modifiers are not going to be as difficult. I'm pretty sure this is doable. I'm actually, you know, I still want to see what's going to happen with the tier 5 boss. You know, we have about 800,000, but we're not going to get much more after we sell all of these druids, which is not going to be a case if you're farming with, like, you know, the top pet farms or the bottom pet farms for that matter, right? I mean, even if you're using boats, you sacrifice the boats, you make the boat paragon, and then all the cash generation kind of pays itself off in paragon degrees. So what I'm saying is, until we get the druid paragon, I mean, these guys are making ridiculous amounts of money. Look at this thing, 135. These guys that we bought at the start, 150, 146. How about the Spirit of the Forest? 210 on the Spirit of the Forest, and we're around 119 on the field. Let's turn off all the start. Let's do the final tally on how much money we've exactly made from every single one of these druids. I'm actually going to sell the marketplaces now. Oh, wait a minute, there's going to be like one more ability actually. Okay, so that was the last one probably. There we go. So I rounded up these numbers, but basically the amount that I got was $1.5 million. So fully surrounded, 9 druids and jungles bounties and 1 Spirit of the Forest are gonna make you about $1.5 million. Alright, so let's sell them. Let's buy, because they're not gonna be necessary anymore. Let's buy the latest paragon, the bomb paragon, and see if this is going to defend the tier 5 boss. I mean, this is it. By the way, the boomer paragon does give it like 10% extra attack speed, because this guy attacks super slow, so maybe this is gonna be enough. Let's have him on strong. We also want to focusing down the Lich Soul when the time comes. Keep using the ability. Oh, maybe I should actually be saving the ability for the Lich Soul now that I think about it. Oh wait, no, actually the Bomb Blitz ability, each time you leak lives it gets triggered. That's really a good combo now that I think about this. This is not even a bad Paragon versus Lich, although is it gonna trigger again? It's not cool. Oh my god, it's pushing back the Lich Soul. I've never seen that. What? Wait a minute, is that an intended interaction? Because this can be kind of useful, especially if you're dealing with a boss that has a lot of HP on the Lich Soul. What? I don't think that should be happening though. He's pushing back the Lich Soul. That's insane. I think they're gonna do it, guys, and if they do it, then this is just, you know, just a good overall showcase from the druids, I want to say, because we mainly did use the druids, although there were a couple of marketplaces for sure, right? The marketplaces weren't exactly making a lot of money, and I guess the idea is still, you know, the same as it was before. It's just now it's just a lot better, right? Are we gonna see the Bomb Blitz, by the way, one more time? Do we get it? Yes, we do. There we go. Wipe the screen. But yeah, the idea is still the same, guys. You use the druids as a stepping stone. It's just that now they are so much better, and I guess you can even farm up to the tier 4 boss just by using druids, whereas maybe previously it was around the tier 3, maybe, depending on how many druids you get. But in a more realistic scenario, yeah, for sure, I think the druids are completely viable, but you still want to scale into some bigger and better farms. Alright, so that was druid farming, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I will see you all in the next one.